Hello, lovely people. Welcome back to my page and happy holidays. I am filming this video just 1 week before Thanksgiving, and I want to chat about making it through the holidays and what that's going to look like for you and give you some helpful ways of thinking about the holidays and about exercise during the holidays, and then just some actual tips and tricks for keeping your healthy habits and your workout routine going through Thanksgiving, Christmas, and the New Year. So first of all, we are about 6 weeks away from the new year, so there's actually still quite a bit of time left in the year. I know this time always flies by, but something I'm going to talk about is really evaluating the days and figuring out that there are not that many that involve celebration. I mean, unless you're super popular and get invited to a million parties, but that's not the case for me. It's really just the holidays and then a few get-togethers around that. So there's actually still a lot of time to succeed and to feel like you're accomplishing what you want to accomplish. But there's also a lifetime of negativity weighing on us, telling us that we're eating unhealthy during the holidays, we're eating bad, we're eating stuff that's terrible for our bodies, and we have to burn it off and we have to earn it and do turkey trots and crazy cleanses in the new year to make up for the horrible things we did during the holidays. But I hate that way of looking at it. It's so toxic and it's just really not helping anybody. I'd much prefer you're healthy every other day of the year, most of the other days of the year, and then when it comes time for the holidays, you can indulge because your body can handle it because you made the right choice when you had the chance to make the right choice and when it was conducive to making the right choice, not on the very infrequent celebratory day. So how on earth are we going to do that? Well, first of all, I want to talk about mindset around exercise year round, but specifically how we can look at that during the holidays, and then I'll give you some tangible tips and tricks for what you can do to really make it through the holiday season and stick to some semblance of your routine. So first of all, I would like you to think about how you view exercise. Just think about exercise, your own exercise routine, and what comes to mind. Take a second. There's no right or wrong answer. But you might feel guilt, you might feel excitement, you might feel like you're behind, you might feel like you're doing great. It's super personal and it depends on where you are. But I'm betting for a lot of you there's some negative thoughts in there. Maybe I'm not doing enough, maybe I am nervous about what's coming up with the holidays. Everyone has something different, but I want to bring to you a new way of thinking about exercise that isn't just for the holiday season, but for everything going forward. And perhaps if you adopt this new way of thinking, by the time the next holiday or vacation rolls around, you'll actually, have some grace with yourself. So whenever I start working with somebody new, I tell them to think of our relationship and their new relationship with exercise as a savings account. We just opened it, it's at zero. And every time you work out, every time you choose to go for a walk instead of sit on the couch, anytime you meal prep instead of takeout, you're depositing into that savings account. But what happens when you don't make a deposit? Nothing. The money doesn't disappear. You haven't pulled money out. You're just not making deposits. And that's what I like to think about with exercise. I like to come from this place of abundance where we can always make the right decision. We can always choose to exercise. We can always choose to eat the right thing. And sometimes it's just really hard to make the right decision, but other times it's pretty easy. Life allows for you to make that decision. Even if it wasn't easy per se, you had the bandwidth and it wasn't putting anyone out or missing out on something to make the right choice. So if you can look at your relationship with exercise from that place of abundance where you always have this opportunity to make the right choice and the opportunity to do the right thing for you, and that you're constantly depositing into that bank of positivity in your life, when it comes time to have a day where you can't do it, it's okay because you've been doing the right thing all along. And like any responsible person, after you have your fun day or your fun month where you didn't get to put money into the savings account because you spent the money on a vacation, we're talking about real money in this particular analogy. When you get back from the vacation, you'll stop overspending and you'll go back to depositing money into the account. So it's about building up these healthy habits and looking at them in a really positive way, so that way when you can't stick with the habit, it's not a big deal and it's natural to go back to it. So how do we take that new relationship with exercise, or kind of what I shared with you, and apply it to the holidays? I mentioned before, there's about 6 weeks until the end of the year. So number one, when it comes to applying this positive mentality to exercise, look at the positive side of the holidays. You have a lot of days until the end of the year. There's a lot of days to make the right decision. Healthy habits are not about the choices you make on Christmas and New Year's and at your family party or your office holiday party. They're about the choices you make every other day when it's easy, when you just come home from work and you have the choice to work out or sit on the couch, when you get off late and you have the choice to eat your meal prepped food or order a burrito. They're all about making those healthy choices in the day-to-day. They're not about choosing to not eat cake at Christmas. So it's about flexing that healthy habit on the days when you can. I hate around the holidays when people throw their hands up in the air and say, I'm not going to be good, so I'm not even going to bother trying. Because that is when you get in this kind of self-fulfilling prophecy of never making any progress and feeling terrible about yourself because you're not doing it. It's just about making the positive decision for yourself when you have the ability to do it. So again, there's a lot of days before the new year, and you want to make sure that you actually make use of the days you can. On that note, you also want to have a little grace with yourself and be self-aware about what you can do. So this is my next point. I like for people to plan their workouts. My tip here is to plan ahead. And this is a tip I give throughout the whole year. I tell all my clients at the beginning of each week, put your workouts on your calendar, know when you're going to do them, and prioritize that, plan around it. Don't say, I need to get my nails done, I need to pick the kids up from school, and I need to, I don't know, make dinner, and I need to fit my workout into there. Figure out when you are going to feel best exercising, when you're going to have the most energy, when it's going to make the most sense for you, and then plug everything else in around it, okay? I'm not saying don't pick your kids up from school. That's obviously a really ignorant thing for me to say. I'm just saying, try to figure out when you are going to succeed in your workouts and plug them into your calendar. But go a step further. I want you to be realistic with yourself. How many times can you work out a week? Are you going to have all of your normal equipment available to you? We're going to talk about how to modify workouts for travel in a minute. And are you going to be able to, stick to the program that maybe you paid for, that your coach has given you? These are important things to consider when making your workout program, or when writing your workouts into your calendar and planning ahead. So get an idea of when you can do your workouts, plug them into your calendar, and then each week write down what it is you're going to do. Now, if you're like me, you write out all of your workouts really detailed. So I always have this log year round, and I know exactly what I'm going to do for each of my workouts. Even if I don't get to them, they're written out, so I know what I should do when I get to my workout time. Not only will you have a calendar of what you're supposed to do, you'll know when you have the time, what exactly you should do. And then this functions in a third capacity. We've got the time figured out of when you're going to work out. We know what you're going to do when you get there. And then when you feel like you've dropped the ball, the holidays have gotten the best of you, and you haven't done what you wanted to do as much, you can actually look back and see what you have done. And if you are practicing your healthy habits, putting yourself first, and still consistently making an effort to get your workouts in, I promise you're going to see it's better than nothing. Next week might not be the best week for you, but this week could be, right? So I'm just going to kind of break this down and give you an example of how it's going to work for me. So next week, we're going to my in-laws from Tuesday through Sunday. So that's like most of the week. And what does that mean for me? Well, it meant this week I was going to work out 4 times and take my yoga class, because those are things that are important to me. That's kind of the big goal, and I knew I had the time for it this week. So I already worked out twice. Yoga is today. I will work out on Friday and on Sunday. And then that will be it for the week. So I did everything I wanted to do this week. I'm kind of depositing into that savings account and I'm feeling good about it. Part of it is not just doing it because it's good for my body, but like for my mind. I very much need that exercise for my mind. And I know that if I did put in the effort and if I showed up for myself, I'm going to have more grace with myself next week. So next week, I'm going to just back off and say, probably won't get to my yoga class because it's on Thanksgiving Day. I don't think we'll have it. And I don't think I'll get 4 workouts in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my leg day on Monday because I'll be home and I'll have access to my heavy weight. And then we leave 2 kettlebells at my in-laws and we have a pull-up bar there. So I'm going to plan on doing 2 total body workouts. One is my conditioning one that's straight from my program. I know I can do it. And the other one will be a totally modified version of my program that may or may not really be in line with what I want to do. But ultimately, I know I'm going to be much happier if I do something than nothing. So I plan on doing those 2 workouts sometime when we're there. If you are traveling, you're going to need to be able to be flexible with your program. So my next topic to talk about is how to modify your workouts and just working around the situation in front of you. A lot of the time, holidays mean travel and not having access to your normal gym, your normal equipment, and you just need to be flexible and understand that something is better than nothing. Because I know personally I'm going to feel better the week after Thanksgiving knowing I worked out 3 times and I kept my body moving and didn't lose kind of the good feeling I get from exercise. That's going to be so much more important than knowing that I did the exact chest workout that I wanted, right? Like I'm not going to care 3 weeks from now. I'm going to care that I kept the momentum going so I could keep going when I got back. So when you look at your workouts for the weeks that you're traveling or the times that it's going to be harder to get to your normal equipment. I mean, maybe even you don't have time to get to the gym. You got to work out at home and that's a different workout for you. What I encourage you to do is if you have the know-how, just look at what the goal of the workout was or the goal of those exercises and modify them for the equipment in front of you. When people only have body weight, I always say take things to one leg and add plyometrics if you can to it. So single leg deadlifts with body weight, single leg squats, jumping, all of these things, great ways to work the legs that only involve body weight. You can do wall sits. I mean, there's kind of like tons and tons and tons of body weight workouts, and knowing specifically the ones that kind of serve the purpose of your workout is going to be super helpful. Another thing you can do is just say, scrap my program altogether, and like there are a wealth of body weight workouts online. I have a really great travel workout that I'll link to here. I love it. You can do it a couple times and you just feel like you get stronger each time you do it. And you can also just do things like take classes. You could say like, oh, I'm just going to jump on this online class and follow along with somebody. You could go to a local studio where you are and take a live class. There's all sorts of different ways that you can get creative with your workout. You can, maybe if you're visiting people that like to work out, do their workout. Again, your body's going to be happy that you moved it as long as you moved it in a safe way. Much happier than if you didn't. So it's not super important that that workout is exactly what you'd want it to be if you were home. It's just something is better than nothing, that kind of mentality. And knowing how to easily swap exercises in and out, and being flexible with yourself. So those are kind of my main tips for getting through the holidays. First of all, reevaluating your relationship with exercise and why you're working out. And that's like a big one, right? Like I said, this is like, it's just a little like easy thing. You can just totally rethink how you approach exercise. But try to start thinking about it in that positive, abundant light that we're just adding to our lives instead of earning things or taking, it costing us time and energy. No, we're giving ourselves a gift and our bodies are going to thank us for it. So reevaluating how you think about exercise, then being honest with yourself, looking at the schedule and planning accordingly, going in with the plan and being flexible. It's about having this kind of more macro view of your health and wellness and your routine with exercise than being so caught up in the nitty-gritty. A lot of my clients will get really overwhelmed. They'll say like, I can't do the workout the way it was programmed. I'm going to fall behind. This is terrible. I'm so upset with myself. I wish I had the time to do it. And all I can say is it's not that serious. I'm probably not talking to a power lifter here. I'm probably not talking to somebody prepping for a bodybuilding competition. We're just normal people trying to be our healthiest selves, and that means just moving your body. Yes, I preach moving your body in consistent ways, and following smart programming is super important, but sometimes that is not accessible to us, and it's about making the best choice for you in that moment when you have the availability to make those good decisions, and then giving yourself a pass on the holidays, because what you ate on Christmas doesn't matter. What matters is what you ate on the 3 weeks between Christmas and Thanksgiving, right? It's about those decisions you make every day. Doesn't matter that you missed your Saturday morning workout class because Christmas is on a Saturday morning this year. It matters that you managed to show up to other workout classes that week when you had no reason not to. So I hope these tips were helpful, maybe a little brutally honest. And let me know if you have any specific situations that you're trying to navigate throughout the holidays, because I probably have tips that speak to your specific situation. These are just kind of general and based off my experience and the experience of my clients. Have a happy, safe, and healthy holiday season, and I wish the best to you and yours.